Terrika Foster-Brasby, welcome to the Sport Profile.
Thank you so much for having me, Dylan. Appreciate being here.
I'm so excited for this. We are in full swing for the WNBA season. Pretty unfortunate that it's the Connecticut Sun's last season in Connecticut, but it's got to be interesting. And for you personally, you've worked with the team and the broadcast experience for so long. What does the Connecticut Sun mean to you, really? What has that franchise really done for you personally?
Yeah, that's a great question. This franchise actually means a lot. And I know that probably sounds like a very cliche answer,
No, not at all.
but it really is what helped me to um, get where I am. There
Sure.
were a lot of people who, say that they want to offer opportunities and they want to, help young journalists and young broadcasters kind of start. But then when it comes time to actually giving them that opportunity, it's usually, well, you don't have enough experience or you don't do blah, 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 blah,
Yep.
blah, right? You get it's not enough experience. Connecticut
Or
was
you get you're overqualified and we don't want to talk to you
right,
because of that.
and we can't pay you, so we definitely can't talk to you because 'cause you're overqualified. In my case, I am quite sure I was underqualified. I
Mm,
had never actually done broadcasting in that form before, like for a real network and for
okay.
a real team. I've been a journalist for years. I've been a podcast producer. I'd worked in social. I'd done a
Yeah.
bit of everything from a back of the house perspective, but I had never
Right.
actually had my on camera assignment. And so Connecticut was the team that took a chance on me to say, we know you love the team, we know you love the sport, and we know you have the talent, but we also know that you need the experience in order for people to see you the way that we see you. So
Right.
Connecticut was the team that gave me my first real opportunity as a sideline reporter. And so I will forever be grateful to the Connecticut Sun and how they literally helped jumpstart my career.
Yeah. I view that sentiment in a few ways, honestly, because it's like the WNBA, I think as it's growing, has also really done an awesome job of uplifting people in media too, right? Like how you said the Sun
Mhm.
helped you grow into the person you are now,
Yeah, for
right?
sure.
And broadcaster you are now. That doesn't always happen with a lot of the professional leagues where they might take a chance on somebody who, as you said, was admittedly, underqualified at the time.
Yeah. Yeah, it was one of those things where, and I say this very humbly, but it was one of those things where I think natural talent helped a lot. I've
Totally.
always felt like I was born for this. I was meant to do this, right? So there were just things that I think about me that anybody else would probably be like, "Oh, she has to have done this before," or "She had to have formal training in doing A, B, and C." And it's like, "Nah, I watched a lot of TV, just kinda said, hit up my girls like, "Is this what I'm supposed to do?"
Yeah.
And use my journalism background, which was print journalism, new media
Yep.
journalism, understanding how to use the social dynamic in journalism, like, that's where I come from. I didn't come from a broadcast journalism background.
Right.
So, that part of my experience was learning on the fly. Like, I can give you a story. I can work on your beat. That's easy, right? But being in
Right.
front of the camera, there were other things that I just wasn't aware of. And so it felt really good for Connecticut to say, you can learn it. Like we can help you along the way. We'll help you figure it out. And then of course, this was also around the time that COVID was going on too. So
Yep.
I didn't have people in the arena that, were really could really talk about me or anything like that. It was just all like really brand new. But I will say the WNBA had at that time done a really great job across their teams of giving fresh voices and giving people an opportunity to grow within the space because for so
Yeah.
long this was a league that was built on grassroots journalists, grassroots companies, grassroots media. Like that's what grew and helped like perpetuate this league to the next level. So it's great to see all of the legacy media companies now like coming in with the high profile people, but for the
Right.
longest of times, it was really just us at the ground, like on the ground, like getting it done.
Yeah, I mean, I know that perspective even from a college standpoint. I went to Rider University, covered the women's basketball team there all 4 years, and can't tell you how many times it was just me.
Mhm.
And so I definitely know that dynamic, but and it's certainly changed, which
Yeah.
is great. It's always been interesting to me how things have grown, how perspectives have shifted. But for you, when you said that you had all the behind camera experience, when you did get in front,
Mhm.
how hard of a transition was that for you? Like, what was that like? Because I can only imagine how you, I mean, again, admittedly said you were underqualified, and I'm not picking on that certainly, but
No, that's a truth.
right. But like, was there any imposter syndrome kind of floating around?
Oh my god. Everywhere. It
I
was
mean,
it
that's
was
just my middle name, but
it was everywhere. It was, "Terrika, you worked really hard to get here and to show people that you can do this, and, like, now that you finally got it, like, what are you gonna do with it?" Right? Like, you kinda
mm,
like, "What are you gonna do with it?" Like, "Are you gonna how hard are you gonna prepare? How hard are you gonna train?" Like, I felt like I was, at some point, oftentimes trying to prove to myself that I deserve to be here, and
really?
I was like, I didn't need to do like, I look back on it now and I'm like, "Girl, you didn't need to do that," but
More so to yourself than other
more so
people?
to myself than other people. Like, I've
Really?
always kinda had this attitude where it's like, I don't really owe you nothing, right? Like, I
Yeah.
don't owe you nothing, like, I know what I did, I don't owe you nothing,
Right.
but I owe myself everything, and so it's like, you fought for yourself, because that's really what it was. Like, I had to fight for myself
Yeah.
over and over and over again in every space that I was in. I had to advocate for myself, I had to speak for myself, and I had to convince people, so much so that I was tired of having to convince other people that I was good enough to do this. And so it was a difficult transition from behind the scenes to what we call from production to talent. And not
Sure.
because it was hard for me as the individual, it was hard because you have people who like to kind of put you in this box of what you are and what you do.
Oh
And
my
so
goodness. Story of
your
my damn life.
I'm telling you, like, that's what it is, like, they see you. So for years, I was seen as a producer. That is what
Yeah.
Terrika does. She is a producer. She can produce the hell out of a podcast or out of a show or do whatever, but they didn't wanna see me as talent. And so the
Mm.
hardest part of the transition, which is something that a lot of people don't do, is
Or
trying to get
C, by the
or
way.
see or see, absolutely, like, once you've been put in this box of this is what you are, this is all the hiring folks and the people who make the decisions see you as. So the
Yeah.
hardest part was trying to get people to understand that I am not just a producer. I even still feel like I'm in that box right now because
Do you
I
really?
primarily cover women's basketball. And I think
Okay.
that sometimes people forget that I didn't start off in media covering women's basketball. I actually started off in media covering the NFL.
Right.
So, like, I know football and I know NBA and I know college basketball. I used to write
Yeah.
for Yahoo. Like, I know this game, but because I've been in this particular segment for so long that it feels like you become, this is Terrika and she's only affiliated with with women's basketball, when that's honestly not true. So boxes,
Sure.
they just, labels, boxes, they never go away.
I think we need to scrap the box. I think it needs to be a rectangle.
Let's just scrap the box, right? Like,
I
for
mean, to put a
real.
shape on it, I think we should just make it a rectangle.
Just, yeah. You're in
Like
this you're in this
there's different
space.
sections to the boxes.
Yes, yes, there's
A
different
longer box
sections.
is a rectangle.
Exactly. Exactly,
I think it needs to be a
exactly.
rectangle.
It
Just me
actually
though.
should just be a bag, and you just dig deep in
A
the bag.
bag. Well, at least yeah, I mean at that point you have more control of what's in the bag,
Exactly.
right? And at least you're the one carrying it. You're
Exactly.
not in the bag
It's your bag, so there you
and
go.
you're getting the bag. I read a blog post that you wrote about how you were part-time at ESPN for almost 7 years.
Yep.
And I'm wondering how the desire to like or I rather yeah, I guess desire to like feel like you had to convince people of your worth played out then. Because that's not easy. There's
Whoo,
a
you telling me?
that's not easy at all. You know,
Yeah.
wanting to advance in your career, your life, I'm sure. And how much did that mindset play into your day to day during that time?
It was a grind. It was a
I can only
grind.
imagine.
It was a grind so much so to where people didn't even know I was part-time. Like, they had no idea. And
Yeah.
obviously, my boss knew I was part-time. He was the one that's paying me and setting my
Yeah,
hours.
the one cutting your checks. I'm
Like,
sure they
you know
knew.
I'm part-time, but in terms of
I'm sure
how
they
much
didn't forget.
I'm sure they didn't, it was no rush, but for everyone else, even within the ESPN, there were people within the ESPN and departments and folks who just knew me because of how much I hustled and I grinded and I kept trying to make myself readily available and relevant. They had
Yeah.
no idea that I was part-time. They thought I was full-time. They thought that I was advocating for myself for opportunities, so I was showing up on stuff. I was working within other departments, like, my main department at that time was ESPN Radio or ESPN Audio, depending on where we were in those 6.5 years.
Yeah.
They switched names. So, ESPN Radio, ESPN Audio, that was my main job at the time.
Right.
But I associated with everybody on the talent side. I worked very closely with people, in ESPNW, so I was writing, articles for ESPNW every once in a while. Anscape, which it's now Anscape, but at the time it was the Undefeated.
I remember,
They
yeah.
were just starting off as well around 2015, and so,
Feels
there
like
was
forever ago. Jesus.
I know, it was like 11 years ago. But they were
Don't say
just
that.
starting, and a lot of them were based in DC. And
Yeah.
at the time, ESPN would always have car washes where celebrities and athletes or whatever would come, and they would do a bunch of different stuff at, an actual headquarters in Connecticut. And so
Mhm.
I got really close with a guy named Clinton Yates. Everybody knows Clinton Yates. And he started a podcast called the All Day Podcast by the Undefeated. And I reached out to Clinton and I said, "Clinton, we got all these people that are coming through Bristol. Nobody here is in, like, talking to them for the Undefeated. So why don't you let me do, like, quick 7, 8, 9-minute interviews with some of these people that are coming through for the car wash, and then, like, we can drop them in the pod." And Clint
Yeah.
like, "T, I think that's a dope idea, let's do it." So it was hearing my voice there, seeing my stuff on ESPNW, knowing that I, had producer credits on, like, Mina Kimes' podcast, Sarah Spain's podcast, The Poker Edge, like, all of these things had my name for producer credits, and so you saw that. So you would think,
Right.
like, Terrika must be doing everything at ESPN, when no, I was actually scheduled for 29 and a half hours a week, or, I would put my time in. When I moved to Connecticut, I didn't get relocation assistance because
Right.
I wasn't a full-time employee. I didn't, originally have healthcare because they don't offer that for part-time employees. I ended up
Mm.
having to work enough hours to where they were like, "We can't deny you healthcare because you're part-time, but you're giving full-time hours." So
Yeah, right.
that thing, and then it was the mental hurdle of applying for full-time roles, not getting hired for these positions, but being asked to train the people who was
Who are
hired
doing the full-time role.
to do the full, and it's like, I'm
Jesus.
trained, like, the amount of people that I trained in radio to do the job, but I never got the job myself, it was
Yeah.
incredibly disheartening.
I can only imagine. I mean, what a smack in the face, honestly.
Smack in the face. Like
Yeah.
a smack, pow in
I
the
felt that too one time. The reason I said the word overqualified before, or I had applied for like a high school sports reporting job sometime last year, like early last year, out in
Mm.
Pennsylvania. Woman never responded to me. So, I mean, of course, it's 2026, and in a job, to get a response out of anybody, you just gotta pull some teeth, right?
Yeah.
And I didn't get an interview for that job either, by the way. And they were like, we felt you were overqualified because we saw on your resume you were self-employed.
What does that have to do with anything?
I have that in an email, by the way. And Terrika, I do regret to inform you, I'm not the CEO of a Fortune 500 company.
I don't know what in my mind gave away that you were out here running Google. Like, that's crazy.
I mean, shit. Really? I'm not a publicly traded company.
Right.
I
That's
am a
crazy.
podcast host and much more than that, but listen, I'm not putting myself into that box.
Don't put yourself in the box.
Yeah, put
Stay out
yourself
of
in
the
the bag.
box.
Yeah, exactly. But that's oh my God. I felt that smack in the face too after I got that email.
It's really interesting, like, what people think what people think you are qualified to do, or, like, again, it's
Right?
all their assumptions, it's all their whatever, but I never understood how you can ask me to train people for a job that I applied for and was denied. Like, what was it about me? And so it wasn't until 2020
Yeah.
when, excuse my language, shit hit the fan
I mean,
that
yeah, quite frankly.
people like, when people finally said, "Okay," now mind you, I started working at ESPN in December of 2014. I
Right.
didn't become a full-time employee at ESPN until February 2021.
Wow.
That was when I became a full-time employee, and the position that I held was a position that was created for me. A person, at the time who was over the radio department, I went completely ham on a call, on a company call, and I told them, "I've been in this role for 6.5 years. I've seen people come and go. I'm the only Black woman in this space. The
Yeah.
only, like, I am not over exaggerating, the
Right.
only one that had been in this space." So, yeah, I got questions as to why I'm seeing everyone around me promoted and I am still here. And there were
Rightfully
people,
so.
yeah, there were people, like, executives on that call who were like, "Wait, what? You're still part-time? Like, what?" Like, people in Florida,
They didn't
like,
even know.
Disney didn't even understand. So, it took me 7 years almost before I finally got that role, and even then it was like I
What
had
you
to
felt what you
fight.
deserved.
Yeah, like, it was like I should not have had to fight this hard to
Yeah.
get something that I felt like I earned and deserved and could not get but my goals didn't stop there, right? Like,
Right.
that wasn't the goal. It was a stepping stone towards the goal, but it wasn't the goal.
Oh, of course. I completely understand that. When you're going through all of that, though, what's kind of keeping you, and even now, even, what keeps you grounded? I know we talked briefly before about gardening and such, which is an awesome hobby if you can
Yes.
get good at it. It's
Yeah.
freaking hard.
Yeah.
I suck. You know, what are some of those things that really ground you and separate Terrika the broadcaster from
Yeah.
Terrika the person?
Yeah, great question. Number one, I'm really heavy into my sororities. So I'm a member of
Yeah.
MRO, Sorority Incorporated, and we do a ton. So one of the things that when I am not knee deep in sports is I am most likely doing something with my sorority, be it some type of community service or some type of project that benefits our community. That's really important to me. I was a kid
Sure.
who, needed government assistance. I was a kid who grew up, in the hood with people, and my family was middle class, right? But we
Right.
still weren't like everybody else, right? We still needed help,
Sure.
right? And so, um, for me, it's all about being able to make sure that others who grew up or are growing up the way that I did, who may not have had the support that I have. I had a very
Yeah.
supportive family. They put me in everything, whatever sport I wanted to play, they let me play it. Whatever field trip I wanted to go on, they found the money to make sure I could go. Tons of after school programs, debutantes, etiquette stuff. Like, I had all that exposure, but there are
That's great.
so many kids who don't, and so
Yeah.
I want them to know that if a girl from the east side of Detroit can make it, you can too. So it's important to me to give back in any way that I can. So that's something that
Certainly.
I do, when I'm not at work. You mentioned gardening. I love gardening. I used to garden with my granddad, so,
Beautiful.
I grow tomatoes. Even I'm allergic to tomatoes, Dylan. Isn't that crazy?
Wait, I'm so sorry.
Yes.
You grow tomatoes even though you're allergic
I
to them?
grow tomatoes, and I give them away or my husband uses them, but I can't eat them.
I was about to say, like, what is the, like, results of that growth? Like, you
Yeah.
said you give it to your okay, so they go somewhere,
They
like,
go
they're consumed
somewhere.
by someone.
Someone, just not me.
So is it
Here
like tomato products too, or just
Yes,
like
so the citrus acid in the tomato is what triggers my allergy. So ketchup, great. Hot sauce,
yeah,
barbecue sauce,
great,
amazing.
love it.
Marinara sauce, if it's fresh, nope.
Huh.
Pizza, nope, I eat white pizza.
Hmm.
I
I
know.
mean, you're from Connecticut. My sister said that there was a great place. I forget the name of it, but she tried like a mashed potato pie once.
Oh, probably. There's a few places in New Haven that have great pizza, but
Yeah, she went to Hartford, so there was a
oh,
few places
yeah,
around
okay.
there.
Yeah, that's where I am. I'm in Hartford. So, yeah,
Amazing.
probably I just I stick with chain pizza that I know is
Sure.
not real like Little Caesars, Domino's,
Sure, yeah.
like, I got that in the bag, but, like,
Right.
Papa John's or places that have, like, actual robust like, they actually have really great authentic sauce, I have to stay away from those, but
Sure.
there's something so, um peaceful about being in your garden, about just
Yeah.
seeing things grow and the calmness of being and I tell people know I'm in my garden, Dylan, when I say, "Oh, I'm going to play in the dirt." That's that's what I say. "I'm going to play in the dirt," and they're like, "She's in her garden." So,
I
yeah.
like see, I like that I like that interpretation of in the dirt because some people will be like, "Man, I'm in the dirt, I'm in the trenches. I don't care about your trenches. I want to be in the damn garden.
I'm in a garden, right?
Who wants to be in the trenches? I want
Yeah,
to
I'm
be
in
in
the
the
garden.
garden."
I'm in the garden. That's it.
I
Yeah.
might as well be allergic to tomatoes. I don't like them. I think like actual tomatoes again. I think like the texture is just so slimy.
Like, I don't hate tomatoes, like, I did eat them at some point, I wasn't always
Sure.
allergic,
Yeah,
but
you had to find out at some point,
I found out the hard way. I found out from Pizza Hut
as most people
pizza,
do.
like,
Pizza
the
Hut?
hard Pizza Hut. So, I'm telling my age now, but back in my day, Pizza Hut used to have this reading program where if you read 6
Wait, I
books
remember that.
yeah, they would give you a little button, and
They like
if you fill out all the buttons, you take it to Pizza Hut, and
yes.
they would give you a small personal pan pizza.
Yes, they're
So
like bringing that back now, I
are they
think.
really?
I
Oh
believe so, yes.
listen, nothing motivates kids like food. You
I
like,
mean, yeah.
nothing more
Food
you
or a
just
free shirt.
a free pizza, free something, like,
Yeah.
come on, like, Wendy's used to have this program, if you got different grades, they would give you, like, free Frosties, free fries, I was like, "What? I'm about to be a straight A student so I can eat for free."
Exactly.
So, yeah, but that's how I found out, I had the personal pan pizza, and I was smashing those pizzas, and my mom couldn't figure out why I was getting, like, itchy and red and rashy, and, you think it's everything else, she thinks it's the detergent, she thinks it's the
Yeah,
clothes, and the whole time it was the pizza.
that's crazy. Bet your
Yeah.
grades were good though.
Grades were amazing. Amazing.
I feel like so many chain establishments did stuff like that. I think when I was going through school, we just didn't know about it a lot. I know that the
Mm.
Pizza Hut one, I do remember just like participating in that, but now it's in my mind again because I think they are bringing it back.
That would
But
be
there were
so
so
awesome.
it is, and I don't know why like certain places stopped. Like it's an amazing incentive for people,
It is. It really is. It really is.
right?
So,
And for like
yeah.
kids too, it's just like a first introduction of like, yeah, work for something, you'll get a reward,
Yeah, yeah. But, I mean,
you
they've
know?
also changed a lot of how, like,
Completely.
some of these things used to like, they cater to kids. Like, when I was going to McDonald's, we had a whole playhouse and
Oh yeah.
playroom and stuff. I don't know if they do that for kids anymore.
I don't
I
think
don't know
so.
if, they've still got all the little characters, Ronald McDonald and, all of his friends. I don't know if they still do that anymore. Everyone's on their health kick, which I get. You want kids to
Yeah.
eat healthy and stuff like that, but there was nothing wrong with a cheeseburger and some french fries when I was growing up, so
Absolutely not.
so it was what it was.
Slight side tangent. I saw a social media clip a couple weeks ago and it said like nothing could have prepared me for who the national anthem singer was at this game, and then the Jumbotron transitioned to Ronald McDonald.
Ronald McDonald!
I
Oh
I
my
think it was
god,
it was at like a baseball game or something, and I
that's
was just like, "What?" And my
crazy.
friend sent that to me. I was like, "Yeah, that wasn't even on like like if you asked me to name like
Not on
10
my bingo
people
card.
or characters, like that wouldn't even be in like a top
Not
20."
even. Not even. Not even a little bit. Not even a little bit, but
No,
yeah.
not even close.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Those are definitely though, like, to your question, the things that sorority life, gardening, just having
Yeah.
fun. I'm a party girl, so I love to go out and just enjoy life with friends. And so those are definitely things that just like keep me focused.
Yeah. With everything that you do have going on though, like how important, obviously, is it for you to stay present and how do you really do so? I phrase it like that because it is different for everybody, but
Mhm.
how do you specifically do so?
I don't even know if I truly do it, to be honest with you. Like, I think I
Sure.
try, but my ADHD kicks in and I'm like, every 5 minutes, I'm doing something or
I mean,
moving
same.
something. Like, every 5 minutes. This is my best friend, and this is my planner, and I have to write everything down in this planner, and, I make a joke all the time that when you're growing up and you hear people say, "I'll put that in my calendar," and I'm like the person now where I'm like, "I really have to put it in my calendar or else I
Right?
will not remember that I'm supposed to do this." But to say all that is to say, when I am where I am, I do my very best to be where my feet are. I do my very
Totally.
best to be attentive to where I am. I mean, obviously, when you work in sports, your phone is attached to your hip. You're always
Yeah.
checking social media. You're always getting updates on things. And so I do try, I'd be a lie to say I don't check my phone when I'm about, no, I check my phone every 2 seconds. Like I'm looking at
Right.
that thing. But I do not let that become the distraction. Looking at my phone or checking a score or doing something like that is not the distraction. It's I looked, I'm done. I don't need to respond immediately. I don't need to comment immediately. If anyone follows me on Twitter or social media, they'll see that I will come back hours later and be like, "Hey y'all, I ain't watched the game today. I was hanging out with my friends today. I saw the score, but I didn't really get into it because I want
Yeah.
my followers to know that as much as I love this game and I love the sport and I love that people come to me for coverage, my life does not revolve around women's sports, the WNBA, or being a reporter. I
Yeah.
have a family, I have friends, I have things that I want to do, and I'm going to take the time to enjoy that, even if that means enjoying life when a game is on or
Yeah.
traveling during the playoffs or whatever. Like, I'm going to take care of me first. And that's how I'm able to be a great or good reporter for anyone else.
Yeah, I mean, once you have that when you feel like you even have, like, a semblance of that balance, it's it's so rewarding,
It is.
honestly. I mean, again, it's a different feeling for everybody. There's shifts. You might feel
Mhm.
really strong one day, not as strong the next
Mhm.
with how you're balancing your schedule. And I'm sure, like you, my to-do list is, sharp, but there are days when it's not.
Yeah.
And I'm again, I'm sure we have this in common. If it's on a day maybe that's not as sharp, you definitely feel the difference.
Yeah. 100%. Like, it's if I miss a meeting, if I forget something, if something throws my whole day off, then it's just like, like now I'm feeling icky.
Yeah. I
So
just like time block things and kind of like work backwards.
yeah.
Like I'm hosting bingo later today at like 7 and like I just like work backwards,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
right? From
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
point I have to leave my house to get there.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
if I don't, like I just can't really schedule my day, if that
Yeah,
makes sense.
yeah, it does. It does make sense. I will say my days are a little bit more this time of year is always a bit busier and it's
Of
harder.
course.
It's not as hard now because I mean I've been doing it for so long now, but
Sure.
in the beginning it was hard for my friends and family to understand that the summer is your free time, not my free time
Right.
because I
I mean, that's
cover
when the
a
WNBA
sport
is.
that is exactly like the sport I cover, their season is from May to September, October.
Mhm.
So you wanna go on this cruise and you wanna take this trip and you are enjoying your summer break, I'm at
Yeah.
work. Like,
Yeah.
my break comes in November, December, when it's Christmas, when it's Thanksgiving, like, those are when my breaks come, so, like, y'all are mid
Honestly, a
doing
good break to
whatever y'all
have.
are doing, which is a great break to have, right? But
Right.
all of the things that y'all wanna do in the summer are the things that I wanna do in the winter, which to me makes more sense because, yes, I too wanna go on a cruise, but I'm going on a cruise in December where you are 40 degrees, I am 80 degrees. Like
Which
to
is
me,
where
it makes
everybody
the most
wants to be
sense.
anyway.
Exactly. So, but it did take a while in the beginning because folks wanted to invite me to their weddings or invite me
Sure.
to their baby showers and all these other things. And I was like, I can't make it because you're free, but I'm not free in the summer. And I think now people know and try to get me dates or things like that well in advance so that I'm able to,
Yeah.
try to schedule around it. But now I think people understand like Terrika's summer is not the same as everyone else's summer.
But honestly, like, doesn't it feel like such an accomplishment when you're able to like get everybody together? Like, I feel like once you're like a real full blown adult, like, it's such an accomplishment.
Yeah, and boundaries help too. Like, you have to
Of
be
course.
consistent with, like, setting your boundaries with people to understand who you are and what you do so that folks know, like, it's not personal. Because I think that was the thing
Absolutely.
too, where it was like, folks are like, "Oh, she's not responding." No, friend, I'm in the middle of a game, and I'm
I'm
not
working.
responding because I'm at work. Like, do you respond at 2 o'clock in the afternoon when you're at work? Like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Or the assumption that because you see me tweeting or you see me posting that means I'm free. No,
Yeah.
that's part of my job. I this is part of work. I'm not free. I'm not dead scrolling. I make a post, I go to something else. I make a post, I go to something else. Like I don't have time to just kind of sit here with my feet up. So you just kind of have to also set boundaries so people understand like there's a lot that goes into this and it's not just on the surface like a regular human being. Working in sports is just a different edge that you live on
Yes.
in life than everyone else. We live on a different edge.
Quite literally. I can't tell you how much of one, I appreciated what you said, and two, just gave me flashbacks to high school. I can't tell you how many teachers in high school, when I was writing a story about like my high school sports teams, thought that I was just like checking social media on my computer. It's like, no, I'm doing something
I'm doing
productive
something.
for my future.
Right. I'm
And they're
actually
like,
doing
no, you're just a
something.
15-year-old kid on your phone. And now people can't even have phones in school.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. It's so
and that's
different.
a whole other debate I'm not getting into. But
Whole
it's just
different.
like
Yeah.
what you just said, just, oh my God, created so many
It's
flashbacks.
It's so true. It's so
It really
true.
is.
And we're not only fighting that, but we're now also fighting AI. And I am
Yep.
a friend of AI. Like I'm not and I'm not someone who thinks that AI isn't useful or valuable. But at
Yeah.
the same time, I've come across students who I'm like, y'all don't understand the actual art of sitting down, researching, trying to figure this out. This is an encyclopedia. You've got to use it.
Mm-hmm.
Like now you've got Chat GPT, Gemini, Copilot. Like you've got all these things that can help. I would
Yeah.
never fail a class. I would never fail a class in 2026 if I was in school now.
Yeah.
All the resources that are available to help and assist where we didn't have that. It was very different at that time.
My whole thing is just like, I love to like learn how I learn and, beyond just like identifying myself as like an auditory learner, a visual learner, a written learner. Yes, I know that and that's very important, but I know I need to sometimes stand at my desk.
Mhm.
I need to stand, I need to move around, right? I need to sometimes work in the dark so I can be focused and not have like all the light stimulation just because that will make my ADHD brain go in a million different directions.
Yep.
But when you're talking about AI, it's like, well, it's helping me learn how I learn. And
Yeah.
that's a positive way
Yep.
to use it. But
Yeah.
anyway, so you get the last question I always ask everybody is just about yourself as a person, your broadcasting career aside, and your love for reporting aside. What's something you like most or admire about yourself?
Oh, wow. I guess the thing that I would say, maybe 2 things, like, that are equal to me is
Yeah.
that I am always gonna be myself, and I love that about me, that you're never gonna have to wonder or question the authenticity of who I am and what I am and where I'm from and what I mean. Like, I am who I am, and that's not gonna change for anyone. Like, you either love all of me or you don't. It's just
Yeah.
it
There's no 97,
there is
98%.
no that it just is what it is, right? And
Right.
I love that about myself. And I guess the second, like, equal thing that I love about myself is I think people resonate with me because I resonate with people. I have I am very empathetic to other people, and I try to show that compassion to other people and try to understand perspectives. I ain't always got to agree with your perspective, but I'm
No.
definitely gonna do my best to try to understand where you're coming from. And I
Yeah.
think that people can see that I'm always someone that's going to try to understand the other person. And I think that's why people like me or talk to me or feel comfortable with me because I'm always I like that's just who I am. I want to know you like you want to know me, and I want to understand where you're coming from. And even if we don't agree or see eye to eye, you will never be able to say, "Well, Terrika didn't listen" or "Terrika didn't get it." You know what I
Mm.
mean? Like that's
Yeah, I
so
do.
important. They're so important. There's some people who just don't listen. They just don't
Oh,
listen.
flat out.
They're not even trying to understand where they're just not even. And I'm never
And you
gonna be
can
like that.
tell.
Yeah.
You can tell. They make it very clear.
Yeah. Yeah.
They really do.
Yeah.
Terrika, thank you so much for coming on. May we all continue to have those authentic conversations and continue to be ourselves and play in the dirt that is the garden. It's
Yes.
a lot of fun.
Please play in the dirt.
You might have a lot of fun with it.
I appreciate you having me on. Thank you.